G'day guys and welcome back to ADOS the Great YouTube channel. So guys, in today's video, I'm going to be giving you my AFL Finals Week 3 or preliminary finals tips for this weekend's action. Now, let's talk about last week's finals. So, we started off with Friday night football, the Brisbane Lions against Melbourne at the MCG. Melbourne were quite heavily favoured to win this one, but to their credit, the Lions got up in a pretty decent win, to be honest. I think I could be wrong, but I believe it's the first time that the Lions have won at the MCG this year, and if that's the case, that's insane to do it in a semi-finals setting. So huge win for the Lions. They also had a few players missing in this one too. So, massive props to the Lions for getting this win. I'm happy because I tipped that correct. Got that tip. I was stoked with that one. I had a lot of people over Facebook, having a go at me about tipping the Brisbane Lions. I had people telling me I know nothing about AFL and that I should never tip AFL again. I'm an idiot for tipping the Lions. I mean, results speak for themselves. I had a feeling and it paid off. So I'm very happy I tipped the Lions there. And then on Saturday, we saw Collingwood take on Fremantle at the MCG as well. Collingwood proved to be way too good for Freo. They got off to a pretty good lead to start off with. Freo made a slight comeback, but it was never going to be good enough. Collingwood just showed how dominant they can be. They won this one by 20, and I'll take that because I tipped that one. I went 2 from 2 in week 2. If you don't know, finals week 1, I went Richmond to beat the Lions. I got that one wrong. Melbourne to beat the Swans. I got that one wrong. I tipped Geelong to beat Collingwood, and I tipped Freo to beat the Dogs. So I got 2 from 4. But very happy with how I've tipped in this one. So yeah, look, I'm thrilled about that. But now we are on to the preliminary finals. Starting off at the MCG on Friday night, we've got the Geelong Cats against the Brisbane Lions. Now, one thing I will say is that in most seasons we see a team win in the qualifying finals but lose in the prelims. So I think that will happen this year. I won't say which team I think is going to win or lose yet. We'll get to that shortly. But what I will say before I do get into my tips, how good would it be 20 years after to see Brisbane playing Collingwood once again in a grand final? That would be very entertaining. But we're here to talk about Brisbane versus Geelong. Geelong over the week off, they had a pretty close game against Collingwood, only winning by 6 points in that one. The Lions have had 2 pretty physical games, a good win against Richmond and an even better win against Melbourne. So, I think this is going to be the game of the preliminary finals. I think this is definitely going to be the one to watch. In terms of who I'm tipping, this is probably the hardest game for me to tip in this whole final series. I honestly, I've been going back and forth with this one, like Jack Kevorkian's asked to court. Eminem fans will know that one. I've been on the Geelong bandwagon for the finals. Obviously, I'd liked Brisbane to win it all because my best mates are Brisbane Lions supporters. Another one of my best mates is actually a Cats supporter, but most of my mates are Brizzy Lions supporters, so I'd love to see the Lions come home for them. And I'm going to tip the Lions. I've gone back and forth with this one, but I am going to stick by Brisbane. They've put on a lot of points. I believe they've put on 198 points over the past 2 weeks. So I think that they're primed for a grand final. And as much as I've been saying Geelong are going to win it this year, I actually think Brisbane are going to go 3 from 3 in the finals and knock the Cats out. So Brisbane is my tip in the first game. In the second game, we see Sydney versus Collingwood. Sydney are coming off a huge win over the Demons. Like, the Demons just looked flat after that game. And while there's a few people out there saying Melbourne, played really well against the Swans, I'm someone that actually disagrees with that statement. I think the Swans absolutely outclassed Melbourne, and Melbourne didn't look like a finals football team. We saw that the week after as well when the Lions knocked them out. So, yeah, I thought Sydney are probably the peak team. They're the team to beat at the moment. On to Collingwood. They played very well against the Cats. I thought, they were brave in that game and arguably could have won it. Against Fremantle, they were damaging. They looked really good for the most part of that game. They started to slip late in the game. I think they still sort of held their composure, and it was always going to be their game. But I thought for parts they were a little bit disappointing. So look, I think they'd be pretty proud of how they're going in the finals at the moment. But at the SCG, I've got to take the Swans. So my tip for the Saturday game is the Sydney Swans to knock out Collingwood and it be a non-Melbourne grand final. So I've got Brisbane and Sydney making it through to the AFL grand final for 2022. So guys, let me know who you're tipping down in the comments below. And do you agree with my tips? Are you back in the same teams I am this week? Or have you gone slightly different? I'd love to hear from you guys. But that is going to wrap it up from me. Thank you all so much for your support. Thank you so much for watching. And as always, I'll see you in the next one. Thanks, guys.